undeveloped remote Galilee basin, Indian mining giant Adani's Carmichael coal mine has seen protests like no other. Amid accusations over the company's environmental and financial record in India, Adani has become the barometer of how parties will deal with fossil fuels.
Anastasia Palaszczuk, wake up to yourself and stop selling out our Queensland.
27.5 million tonnes a year of thermal coal will be excavated and transported to the Abbott Point port to generate power in India.
Who's going to vote to stop Adani?
A Stop Adani convoy, led by former Greens leader Bob Brown, is on a 5,000-kilometre journey north. In the Central Queensland city of Rockhampton, one of Adani's primary FIFO hubs, coal politics is firing up the electorate.
The battle is renewables versus coal. We can't just take coal out of the equation today. It means a lot for business to get Adani.
Political ads are in high rotation in Rockhampton, and Adani is clearly front of mind. On April 18th, the paper has a letter to politicians claiming 15,000 jobs are at risk.
I've got no problem with coal mining. I think the state's economy relies on it heavily.
I think Adani should go through. There's a lot of families that are relying on it.
There's thousands of jobs at stake.
There are almost 50 coal mines in the Bowen and Surat basins, mining mostly metallurgical coal used for steel production, while the Galilee would be thermal coal for power generation.
In the Galilee basin, there's potentially 15 future coal mines, with 7 that are actually looking at progressing, and it just so happens that one of those is further ahead in its environmental impact assessments than the other 6.
And that is Adani's Carmichael mine.
We will absolutely not ever let this mine go ahead.
The Stop Adani group says 4.6 billion tonnes of carbon dioxide will be produced over the project's lifetime. They're also concerned about the environmental impacts to the Great Barrier Reef at Abbott Point, as well as tourism jobs.
Why Adani is so important in this movement is because if this mine goes ahead, it sets a precedence and opens up the Galilee for further mining projects. So,
member of lobby group 350 Central Queensland, Sophie Thompson, and her friends want renewables quicker.
We're the ones that's really going to have the effect of what's happening today, and yeah, it's our future.
I reckon the Adani job's good for everyone.
Why do they allow all the other coal mines and not Adani?
I don't think Adani should go ahead. I think I'm really worried about the graziers out there and the water table.
Rockhampton is the beef capital of Australia, and just 40 kilometres from town is Mick Alexander's property, spanning more than 1,400 hectares.
We're getting more hot days in the last 4 or 5 years than we've ever had before.
The organic beef grazier is part of Farmers for Climate Action. He is looking to independence this election.
I've always voted National Party, but we don't have a National Party in Queensland anymore.
And he's worried about Adani's groundwater drawdown.
Once we've damaged that aquifer, we've damaged the Great Artesian Basin, that's just going to destroy, I guess, in perpetuity, Western Queensland.
In the Central Highlands region, which takes in Emerald, there are 11 operating coal mines. This community is on the better side of the boom and bust mining sector cycle.
The fact that there's a lot of negative talk is very concerning, particularly for this region. It's a massive employer, and we need coal in this area to keep the jobs happening.
In Emerald, businesses are already working with Adani. Environmental field monitoring consultants Bronwyn Reid and her husband Ian are doing regular groundwater and surface water sampling and testing.
My family actually has agribusiness operations in this area. Our employees live here. We're very much invested in our community. We know that if we go on ground and do the sampling, we know that it is done correctly.
Whatever the data we've provided, it's truthful data.
Neil Parry's business employs 48 people, laundering sheets and uniforms for mine sites and camps. For the past 7 years, they've been servicing the Adani campsite.
The Central Highlands region has come through a tough 5 years, and they're looking for some, I wouldn't say relief, but some increased activity from the Adani project. when they do stop using coal as a generator of power for baseload, it'll be in the future, and Australia will be the last one to shut the door.
With both Flynn and Capricornia sitting at a margin of 1% or less, how local candidates and their parties deal with the Adani issue could be the decider.
I mean, it's good for the local area, like it employs a lot of people. I'm casually employed in the mines myself.
It's not sustainable long term.
Get Adani going, get some people working.